Hello, this is the video for Thursday, March 9th. Number 1 says, it takes Malik 1,476 steps to get from his house to school. It takes Giselle 283 steps to get from her house to school. How many more steps does it take Malik than Giselle? For this question, a lot of times I ask if I'm comparing my height with a student's height, and I say, how much taller is Miss Beck than the student? It wouldn't make sense to add our heights. It would make sense to use subtraction to find this in-between part, this difference. So you need to set up your problem and solve. It would also be a good idea to show or write out a sentence for this problem since it is a word problem. Number 2, some windows in Mike's house are broken now. His father replaced 1/2 of the broken windows. His Uncle Jack replaced 1/3 of the broken windows. Who replaced the greater fraction of the broken windows? So we're going to be comparing 1/2 and 1/3. It's important not only to put your sign in the middle to compare these two fractions, but the question is actually asking who replaced the greater fraction. So it's also important to list a name, either his father or his uncle, as to who replaced the most windows. Sanaya has 36 rubber bands. Jalon has 18 rubber bands. They use 9 rubber bands for each tie-dye shirt. How many shirts can they make? So this problem has 2 parts. First, we need to figure out how many rubber bands do we have all together. And then once we have that number, we can figure out, well, if we're using 9 rubber bands for each t-shirt, we're going to have to create some sort of division problem. So again, we're going to have to first find our total number of rubber bands and then figure out how many t-shirts can we make if we're using 9 rubber bands for each. So this is a 2-step problem. Again, it would be good to write out a sentence since this is a word problem. Number 4, we're placing some fractions on a number line. Because each fraction has an 8 in the denominator, this problem is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to start with our 1 whole, and we're going to break the number line into 8 pieces. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now that it's broken into 8 pieces, I can place each of these 3 fractions on the number line. I'm going to let you do that work since we're going to be going over this in class again anyway. Number 5, Kevon gets to the mall at 5:41 p.m. It took him 39 minutes to ride his bike there. What time did Kevon leave for the mall? So he got there, our final time, he got there at 5:41. It takes him 39 minutes to get there. So you're actually going to be finding your start time for this problem. What time did he leave to get there? Again, if we can count by tens, that's good to start with first. Again, I'm going to let you do the math here and to figure out what his start time is going to be. And again, we should write a sentence that says is a word problem. Number 6, write the 2 area equation and find the figure below. Our cut and continue is already done for us, so we can quickly see the only equation that we can write is going to be 4 times 9 plus 5 times 3. You still need to make sure, though, you're finding the area. Number 7, find the sides. Our squiggles and straights are already there, so you can set yourself up to solve for y and x, as well as the area. All 3 of those need to be in your answer in order to get that problem correct. Again, since x is on a straight line, we should be using the other straight lines to help us, and y is on a squiggle, so we should be using the other squiggle lines to help us. Number 8, we need to write 3 expressions that could be used to determine the area of the figure. So I'm just going to set you up for what these should look like. and then you guys can fill in from there. Number 9, I'm going to also let you guys solve those because we really need to get good at memorizing them. We'll go over those in class. Number 10, which two statements match the expression 3 plus 12? So we're looking for addition statements. Taj bought 36 cupcakes and 12 muffins from the bakery. So we're going to, although the question is how many does he have altogether is not there, we can assume that that's what the next part is going to be, so that would be an addition problem. For letter B, Taj bought 36 cupcakes from the bakery and shared them with 12 friends. That's division. Taj bought 36 chocolate chip cupcakes and 12 vanilla cupcakes from the bakery. Again, we're finding the total number of cupcakes. And then Taj bought 36 cupcakes from the bakery and ate 12. That would be subtraction. Number 11, circle all the shapes that are rectangles. I'm not going to answer this one for you, but I will remind you that a rectangle is a quadrilateral. It does have parallel sides. And then it has something else extra that we talked about in class having to do with the corners. So pay attention to the corners as you answer this problem and shade in your answer. Number 12, this is going to be the associative property, meaning that we can multiply any of these numbers in whatever order we want and we're still going to get the same answer. So if we do 5 and 2, we get 10 times 7, we get our answer. Or I could also do 2 times 7 and get 14, and I'm still going to get the same answer. So either way works. Number 13, how many fewer students chose strawberry than chocolate? Again, use your key to find that there are 8, 6, this is half of a face, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3 students. And then you're going to have to figure out how many fewer students chose strawberry than chocolate. So we know we're looking at strawberry and chocolate, and I'll let you figure out what the equation needs to be and what the correct answer would be. Again, we're going to go over that in class, but make sure you show your equation for this problem. Number 14, how many students chose sausage as their favorite topping? This one is pretty straightforward. I suggest you still write the total above each of them just so that you are showing all of your work. But again, we're focusing on the sausage. And then number 15, I know these problems are really hard. They have multiple problems within the problem. However, this is going to be something we're going to see on Park at the end of the year. And the more tries that we get at these types of problems, the easier they're going to get. So I know they're difficult each night, but keep pushing through because we are seeing so much improvement with these problems. Again, go slow, reread the problem multiple times so that you clearly understand what it's asking of you. And then just go slow to make sure that you're not making any mistakes as you move forward, because usually Part A you need for Part B, and Part B you're going to need for Part C. So let's go slow through this problem and really think about what it's asking of us. A total of 8 students decorated the front surface of 2 different bulletin boards, one in the computer lab and one in the library. The computer lab bulletin board has 4 sides, 4 right angles, and has a length of 10 feet and a width of 9 feet. The library bulletin board is divided into 6 equal parts and is shaded to show the fraction of the surface that the students finished on Tuesday. This was a lot of information. Go slow and really pull out the key details in order to answer the question. So looking at Part A, it says, what is the area of the computer lab bulletin board? So I'm going to go back to the computer lab part. And it says the computer lab bulletin board has 4 sides and 4 right angles. So that's telling me that it's going to be a rectangle. Its length is 10, and its width, its length is 10, and its width is 9. And now, because it's asking me for the area, I know I'm going to be needing to use this length and this width. we know that area equals length times width. So we can use the length of 10 times 9 to find that the area of the computer lab bulletin board is going to be 90. Again, this was the computer lab bulletin board. So even though that was a lot of words, the first question is pretty straightforward. You just need to make sure you're pulling out the correct information. Letter B, write all of the words that could be used to describe the shape of the computer lab bulletin board. So we know it has 4 sides. So we know a 4-sided figure is a quadrilateral. We know it has 4 corners, so it could be a rectangle. And we also know that it's going to be a closed shape, so it's also going to be a polygon. So those are the 4 words that we've been really practicing in Math Chat that could describe this shape. And letter C, what fraction of the computer lab bulletin board do students still need to finish? This is supposed to say a library bulletin board because this up here is our library. What fraction of the library bulletin board do students still need to finish? Well, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are still unfinished.